All right. Shabbat Shalawam. Uh, we the UMass New Orleans camp. We're coming back with another Shabbat lesson. But first and foremost, we're going to give all praise and honor to Yahweh,
YAHAWAH, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Yahawashi.
double honors to the apostles, the elders, and that rule well. And peace say, teach you, brother, hopefully like pushing his word of truth and sincerity. I would like to say we back with another Shabbat lesson. Just kind of gonna go into we got faith that the Lord is gonna sustain us because we coming up in tumultuous times where a lot of things gonna be happening, and we really, Lord really gonna have to bless us with that gift of faith in order for us to make it. And we know that that's the elect are gonna have that too. So that definition of faith, uh,
Yeah, like the brother was saying, faith is pretty much impossible to please the Most High. And in order for it to be sustained by the Most High, we have to be able to please Him through faith. As our forefathers, Abraham, which he probably, I believe one of y'all brothers got that scripture first, going to that account where faith was displayed, by our forefathers, which we have to take account of in this day to walk in those footprints. Footprints, basically, wear out the blueprint which they sustained themselves with. And that's how the Lord ultimately, that's how they overcame endeavors and where they was entrapped in situations where it seemed dark, to where they wouldn't be able to basically get out of it. But ultimately, that's what we're going to be saved by. All right. That's why we consider ourselves to be faith-based Israelites first and foremost. Okay. Before anything, man. Before the wisdom. All right. Before our names, before everything, man. Our faith should precede us as the Lord requires it, man. Pretty much there's nobody getting saved without faith, man. Even Thomas, he making the last point, even Thomas was around because it wasn't that Thomas didn't have faith. All right, his faith was smaller than those who basically would need to not see and believe. All right, but still, Thomas was dealing with faith because the Most High, Yahawashi was dealing with him. But go ahead, Doc, you got it.
Real quick to back up what you just said. This Ephesians 2, verse 8. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and not of yourselves. It is a gift of the Most High.
Right, because there's a law of faith that Paul talk about. A lot of don't mention that. The whole ministry is really built up on faith, man. To be honest with you. Okay, so in your faith, it's going to have to show if you really believe and have confidence, man. You got it, Dwight.
We got that Hebrews 11.
Start
at verse 1.
This is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
It's like you said, it's the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen, meaning that, like we can't see these things, but we believe them, but we expect them to happen. All right, because because the evidence that we don't see, like we can't physically see the kingdom of heaven, but hey, we got faith that we gonna get to it because that's our substance. Go on to verse 2.
Verse 2. For by it the elders obtained a good report.
And that's how we do what's pleasing unto the Lord. All right, it's through that faith, like I was just saying. You know what I'm saying? That's how you gonna obtain a good report from the Lord is through your faith. Get that Sirach 2 and 10.
This is Sirach chapter 2, verse 10. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
And read 11 too.
It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction.
Yeah, so you gotta abide in that trust. You gotta in the Lord. That's where your faith gotta lie. That's the only way you gonna obtain His mercy. Because he's full of compassion. He's merciful. He's long suffering, and he said he'll forgive sins in the time of affliction. The only way to get there is through faith. That's what's gonna sustain you.
I got a precept for you.
Come on, get
Yeah,
what you
hold
got.
on too.
Kind. This is Proverbs chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 5. Trust in Yahweh with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding.
Yeah, come on. Like you said, you gotta trust in him with all your heart, and that word heart goes into your la'ab, meaning your mind, your spirit. You gotta, have your mind focused on the Lord. All right, and it said lean out to your own understanding, because when you look at situations that you will go through in life, and you look at it from your carnal eye, it looks like things are impossible. It looks like, you're not gonna make it out of situation. The situation ain't gonna work out. But you gotta just trust in the Lord, have your faith in Him.
Kind.
I,
Verse
I got you that one. Awesome. You got it.
kind. Yeah, I just had two more. And this next verse goes into that Sirach 10 where it said, look at the generations of old. And as it says in Romans 15, everything written aforetime was written for our learning, that through roughly paraphrasing, pretty much, let me just read it real quick so I don't butcher it.
I actually got that too, so you gonna grab that too.
Kind. I'll just get it. This is Romans 15 and 4. For whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. And when you have faith in the Most High, what does that bring? Patience, the patience and the faith of the saints, because we have faith that everything that the Most High said would take place is going to take place. And we have faith that if we do everything we need to do, hey, we'll reach that salvation. So what does that build? Patience, that we know that hey, these things must come to pass, and we have to wait for them to come. But we know that when they do come, when the bad times do come, we have faith that when the Most High said if we followed after Him, He'd make a way for us, He would. And look at the generations of old. Our forefathers went through life and death situations, but they had faith in Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, and then what? They made it through.
And kind of, he said that he's not a power that he should lie. So that means that you can have faith that everything that is written in this book is going to come to pass. It's going to happen. The way he said it's going to happen. That you can have true confidence and faith in it.
Con. Verse 6. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear Yahweh and depart from evil.
I got one too out.
So, God, you got to.
I'm gonna get to the point. This is First Peter's 1:7 says that the trying of your faith, being more precious than gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of a Yahawashi Mashiach. Going into everything y'all was saying, whom having not seen, yet love, in whom though not ye see him not, yet believing, yet rejoicing with glory, yet rejoicing with joy unspeakable and full of glory. It says, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. You got it.
Yeah, kind. And those just said that's going to be the trial of your faith. Meaning that's how it's going to be tested. Okay, it's that rite of passage. You got to go through it to receive that salvation. Matter of fact, the way I get one of the scripture where it says he will give you an expected end. I remember it's in Jeremiah.
It should be 49 and 11, I think.
29,
29 and
11. Con. I'll read it. This Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says, "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith Yahweh, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end."
And that expected end is that promise that he wants to give us. It says that it's his good pleasure to give us that kingdom of heaven. And so we can expect that from the Lord too. That's a part of their faith. Because he don't take pleasure in punishing us and destroying us. but he know that the like whether Yakina was bringing out this that trial that tested their faith. We had to have been proven before we can be found worthy to even have the key. Uh,
Let me keep going
so
on
go
the.
ahead.
Oh, you got it up.
No, that's it. That's all I don't know. That was
You was done with what you had, Yaka now?
Yeah, I had a little small one for him real fast. He could break it down. There's a little small clip it. This is Hebrews 11 and 26. And I'm gonna read 27. It says, esteeming the approach of Yahawashi greater riches that the treasures of Egypt, but he had respect unto the recompense of the award. And this is the point. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, but he endured as seeing him who is invisible.
kind, and we know this talking about Moses. All right, because think about Moses. He grew up in Egypt, well respected. And so because he understood who he was and through faith in Yahweh Shema Shai, he literally forsook that reward because he knew that he had that fear, unto the Lord. So he didn't worry about, like you said, the wrath of the king, as the scripture says.
I got a precept after the brother Kaya. I know Kaya said he had one.
I got one too.
Okay. Go ahead. What you got, Kaya?
This Proverbs 13 and 12. It says, hope deferred maketh the heart sick. You got it up? I'll read it again. It says, hope deferred maketh the heart sick. But when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Yeah, basically, the things that we're hoping in, if it's deferred or deterred, it makes our heart sick, man. The things that we do pound in, that we believe we're going to get, if we're deferred in the mind, our spirit is sick, man. All right, our life begins to be sick, man. Our hope, which is our confidence, is cut off. Okay, but when there's a desire there, there's the tree of life, man. All right, salvation. Okay, those things that's promised unto us. You see, you want to say something, Kalaya?
Kind, because that really go back into keeping that eye single. All right, having that tunnel vision on the kingdom. You're not
Yeah,
looking to the left or right. You know what I'm saying. You got this, which the kingdom should be the goal for everybody. If you in
it's the
this
hope.
truth and you not in the kingdom is not in the pupil of your eye, then what you doing?
Yeah,
That's what's
should be in
propelling your whole drive. That's what
con.
we have. We got faith in,
That's
and
the hope.
Yahweh Shem Shai getting us there. But I
That's
just
the
wanted to
hope.
speak on that.
Nah, you
And
right. That's the hope, because hope again is confidence. That's your
That's
faith.
right.
So if your faith deferred, your heart gonna be sick.
That's right.
Right. So our heart's not sick because our hope is not deferred. The thing which gonna get us to the kingdom of heaven. So you got
Come,
it, bro.
brother.
uh,
That's why I say
uh,
when the desire come, it's the tree of life. You got it, bro.
the backyard brothers up. This is John 20, and I'm gonna start at 25. It says, the other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. He said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the print of the nails, and put of my finger into the print of his nails, print of the nails, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas with them. Then came Yahawashi, the doors being shut, and stood into the midst, and said, peace be unto you. Then said he to Thomas, red letters, Yahawashi speaking, Reach hither thy finger, behold my hands. Reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing.
Hey,
And
if, real quick, what you can say for that account? But yeah, Thomas wasn't straightforward. What I was saying, Thomas still was firm and believing. I'm gonna believe if I could touch it and feel it, which we do believe prior to that. You know, we before sin, we believe before we see. Okay, but Thomas was firm still in his belief. It wasn't that he didn't believe at all. All right, he just needed to touch it, and he was gonna be like, I'm gonna believe it. All right,
yeah,
but go ahead, brother.
yeah, it's solidified now and then. You hear me? It's his belief was 100% death. If first and foremost, if he was a disciple of Yahawashi,
Of course,
so
of course.
his belief was death. But like I said, this furthermore presses the point of that. You know what I'm about to get into this next verse. And Thomas answered and said unto him, My Lord and my power. Yahawashi said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen me and yet have believed. And I'm gonna just finish it off. And many other signs truly did Yahawashi in the presence of his disciples, which are not written in this book. But these are written that ye might believe that Yahawashi is the Hamashiach, the Son of the Most High, and that believing ye might have life through his name.
So did he say they are not blessed who did see and didn't believe? In other words, did he say, look, because you didn't see and believe, or didn't see and believe, because you had to see me, didn't believe? Did he say Thomas was not blessed? He didn't say that.
Nope.
He just said more blessed are they that what? Don't see and believe. All right, but you got it, bro.
Y'all finished?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's on you, Eli. That's all I got.
Con. I got a quick pretty much, just going into like the premise of the video. Brother was what was the title again, brother? I want to get it word for word. Go ahead.
We got faith that the Lord will sustain us.
That's right. That's right. And what's that ultimate being sustained? That's salvation. All right. Yeah, the Lord gonna feed the prophets, take care of the prophets. And that ultimate sustenance is gonna be that deliverance. All right. It says, this is Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 7. It says, and everyone that shall be saved. All right, these are the elect. It says, everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. Okay, so not only do you have to get out here and do the works, get out on the highways and byways. All right, get up with brothers, get on video calls, things like that. But you have to have faith. You have to believe. Faith and works go hand in hand. It says, verse 8 shall be preserved from the said perils. And what do those perils go into? Famine, pestilence, all right, the sword. Okay, ultimately being sustained by the Lord. It says, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them from the beginning. And I just wanted to, the point was in 7. You got it, brother.
I got a precept too.
God, you got some marker.
Right, this Psalm 34 and 17. The righteous cry, and Yahweh heareth, and he delivered them out of all their troubles. Verse 18. The Most High is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Verse 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh delivered him out of them all. So yeah, it goes into, the Most High, he delivered, the righteous out of all their troubles, and he hears your prayers, so he's going to hear the righteous prayers in the time of trouble that's coming up, the famine, the sword, JT, or just everyday circumstances, man. The stress of life, whatever the case may be. He hears the prayers of the righteous, and like I said, he delivered them
out of all their troubles. And that's what we hope for, and that's what we believe, man. And we know, and just by hearing, and reading the scriptures, that we know that it's true.
Good.
That's it on
Hey, let me get one of y'all. Can one of y'all get First Kings chapter 19 and start at the top? It's
I
a
got you.
it's an account with Elijah.
I got one too.
God, me too.
I got the First Kings for you, brother.
All right, kind of grab that real quick.
Con. This is
And
first
we're gonna read down to 8.
Con. Okay. This is First Kings 19, starting at the top. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, Salaki, when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness, and came and sat down under a juniper tree, and he requested for himself that he might die, and said, It is enough. Now, O Lord, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers.
Now Elijah was on the run because he saw that or he heard that all the prophets were being killed. He was ready to go. But obviously the Lord didn't have it for him to do that because he still had a mission for him to do. So keep going.
Verse 5, it says, And as he lay and slept under a juniper tree, behold, then an angel touched him, and said unto him, Arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was a cake baking on the coals, and a cruse of water at his head. And he did eat and drink, and laid him down again. And the angel of the Most High came again the second time, and touched him, and said, Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for thee. He arose and did eat and drink, and went in the strength of that meat 40 days and 40 nights unto Horeb, the mount of the Most High.
And and that show you we gotta have faith that we gotta believe this. You see, the Lord sent the angel to feed him, and he said he went in his strength 40 days and 40 nights off them 2 meals. You know what I'm saying? You gotta trust the Lord can do that. But you say you had something, Elder?
Yeah, I got Romans 5:1. I'm gonna read down about 5. Romans 5:1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with the Most High through our Lord Yahawashi Mashiach, by whom also we have access by faith unto his grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of Yahweh. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience hope, and hope make it not ashamed, because of the love of Yahweh is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. You got it out.
God, everything it all starts with their faith. It's all established on their faith. And that's the only way that that we gonna even be able to make it through. And that's how we, like I said, gain that experience through them tests and through them trials. That's how we get stronger, is through our faith in the test. And then also, what scripture says that you know, uh without faith it is impossible to please Most High. So you gotta have faith. Faith is paramount.
I got a. Were you finished yakking now?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm done now.
Kind. Hey, that's beautiful that you had the brother get that First Kings dealing with what, looking back at the generations of old, the situations our forefathers went through, and they had faith in the Most High and they made it through it. But this is the account in a 1 Samuel 17 dealing with David fighting against Goliath, and we know that Goliath was a great warrior, the Philistines, and that all Israel was afraid of him. But David, being a ruddy, a youthful lad, they went against him with his faith in Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi and overcame him. And I thought it was interesting, just a quick side note, when you go into what Goliath's name means, it means splendor, and splendor means magnificence and splendid appearance, grandeur. And again, Goliath was a Philistine, and they were Hamites of the son of Mizraim. And who are the Egyptians? They were Mizraim. And where are we at today? In modern day Egypt, in this place, this whore is what known as great and splendid and just grandeur. And if you're thinking from a carnal mindset, you wouldn't think that this Edomite or America would go down. But here we are coming against them with the scriptures, with faith, like David came against Goliath. And what are we going to do? We're going to overcome him in the name of Yahawashi bahasham Yahawashi. But this is 1 Samuel 17. I'm going to start at 42. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth and ruddy and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. But let's look into the ways of our forefathers and see how they reacted in faith. Verse 45. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will Yahweh deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee, and I will give the carcasses of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel.
God, beautiful. Like you said, David, like he had that faith, and he stood on that faith. You know what I'm saying? Because we know, the how great in stature Goliath was, but hey, that didn't phase him because he had faith.
And if I could say real quick, it's what David said. The fowls of the air and the pretty much desert creatures are going to get thy carcass today. And when America gets destroyed, what's going to inhabit the carcass of America? Desert creatures, the fowls of the air, the birds, the snakes and the scorpions, all that.
I got something. Go ahead, bro.
You can run it real quick, Kalai.
Cause oh shit. The brother Ryan made a beautiful point. Hey, we going into a time where your faith has to be outstanding. We got to use this time right now to build our faith. Because hey, what it's saying, Jeremiah 30:7, that day is great and it's none like no other. Okay. You have to build your faith now. You have to ask the Lord to build your faith using these scriptures, using these accounts from the times past. Hey, and what was Goliath? He was like a man like no other, a great man. great in stature. Okay, and we just pretty much backing that brother up, man. You know, we those Davids, and this word is those stones.
The great millstone.
That's right, brother. I just wanted to quickly say that since you on that topic.
I got a precept for you.
Yeah. Okay, you got it.
It's Sirach 2:6. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. You got it, bro.
Yeah, that's your brain. Like you said, you gotta believe it. And to order your way right is to do what's pleasing unto him, to come into this thing, to do, to do what the Lord says, to go in the right way, the correct way, the way that we taught, through learning what the generations of old, who we are, like you said, things that written were for time, were written for our learning. That's how we learn the right way, because we didn't grow up knowing these ways. We didn't grow up knowing any of this.
Something I got for you, bro. It's a bit lengthy, but just going into the Bell and the Dragon with the prophet Daniel, who at the end of the day he stood on business of believing in the Lord and standing on the values of Yahawashi, and what happened to him for believing all the way through. You mind if I get that for you?
Okay, you got it.
This is Bell and the Dragon in the Apocrypha, and I'm gonna start at verse 30. Bell and the Dragon 1:30. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, that he delivered Daniel unto them. So basically, as I mentioned, Daniel was under he was very hated. He was very hated at the end of the day because the people at the time, he was going against the Babylonians idol worship of a dragon, dragon
Deity.
Yeah, the water. He was against that, and basically he was very much against it. But once he went against it, giving you a concept of Bell and the Dragon, the people was eventually going to rise up against the king because he believed Daniel. But once the people raised up against the king and called the king a worship of the Jew, the king felt necessarily to do something to Daniel, which he threw Daniel into the lion pit. And this is where I'm going to start off at. It says, now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lion's den where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them to the intent that they might devour Daniel. So like I said, there's 7 lions in there, and they feeding them, they bird feeding them. They give them very little food in the intent that they gonna fuck up Daniel. Okay. But now there was in the jury a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage and had broken bread in a bowl and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go, carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon and to Daniel, who is in the lion's den. Okay, so now it's an angel right now talking to Habakkuk and telling him what he needs to do with the food that he usually throws out to the field. Okay, he said, give this food to Daniel. All right, but then the angel of the Lord in Habakkuk said, Lord, I have never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. So, this is something very spiritual that, the angel is talking to Habakkuk, and Habakkuk don't even know what's going on. But the angel through Yahawashi is letting him know, hey, I need you to bring this food to him, to Daniel. Okay. But the angel, I lost my spot. Habakkuk, And Habakkuk said, Lord, I have never saw, verse 35. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by his crown and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried, saying, Oh, Daniel, Daniel, take the dinner which the Most High has sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O Most High, neither hast thou forsaken me that seek thee and love thee. So Daniel arose and did eat. The angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. So just imagine that was just something that was just in and out. The Lord sent the angel to save Daniel because Daniel was faithful and true. He was a prophet of Yahawashi Yahawashi, but he was faithful and true. So he sent Habakkuk through to give him food to make sure that he was okay in a time of need. And why? Because he believed. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. Upon the seventh day, the king went to bewail Daniel, and when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting. Daniel was sitting all good. Nothing happened to him. He got a nice belly of food in his stomach, and his lions still ain't touch him. Through the will of Yahawashi Yahawashi. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, Great art, Lord, thy power of Daniel, and there is none other beside thee. And he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. So the people who accused Daniel of going against the king at the time, as soon as they went in the pit, the Lord slaughtered them through the lions that was in the pit with him. But overall, Daniel was saved by having the faith in Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi and not ever turning away from him. He stood on business all the way through, and through Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi, the brother was saved. Just going to the back you are, brother, of the faithfulness of what can happen if you're being faithful of a power that we've never seen before. If you stand on business on it when it's in the time that you need to stand on business, Lord willing, Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi will save you. But that's all I got. Salak for being long with it.
I got one real fast. Kind of going into that overall everything. This is Romans 10 and 8. I'm gonna read down to about 10. It says, But what said it? The word is nigh thee, even thy mouth, and in thy heart, that is the word of faith which we preach, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth that the Lord Yahawashi, and shall believe in thy heart that Yahweh has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. And this is the point. All right, going into it's kind of general, going into Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It says, For with thy heart man believed unto salvation, and with thy mouth confessions is made unto salvation. Which overall, which we're doing, we believe in all these things. Yahawashi raised from the dead. We believe in the kingdom. All right. We confess it. We make it public. We publish it. Publish it. Getting tongue tied. But that's why it says, and with the mouth confessions is made unto salvation. All right. And that's all is all synonymous with the belief, the works. All right. Because if you believe in something, you're gonna put action behind it, right? And with action behind it, you're gonna confess it. It's gonna be known. You're gonna live and breathe it, man. Which we do. All right, live, breathe. All right, this overall, this is our life, man. In a wider sense, if the men of the Lord is actually living this truth, man, through our daily lives too. Not just behind this camera, which a man's supposed to, But go ahead, Doc. What you want to
Got it.
I have one for you.
Can't remember what you get.
It's This First John chapter 5, verse 4, it says, "For whatsoever is born of the Most High overcometh the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith." Yeah.
Yeah, and that being born of the Most High is just being born again and establishing their faith, and that's what's gonna get us that victory. All right, get Isaiah 33:6.
You want to get it, Kabal, Uncle Shab?
I got you. It's Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure."
That God, that what's gonna keep us stable is His wisdom and knowledge of the truth. You know, the things that we read, the things that we apply. You know, how we learn, the experience that we gain from this. This is gonna keep us stable, and that's gonna be our strength. All right, and once again, it starts with that fear. But that's all I had there.
You know, if I could back you up real quick, brother. Like you said, with the wisdom and knowledge be the stability of our times. Like I said, that's something that that we need to constantly put ourselves through of learning these scriptures to learning the wisdom and knowledge that was aforehand for us. But like you said, that you brought out in the Ecclesiastes too, who that look at the generations of old. So that's what we basically need to be doing at this time too, along with our studying and so, but also looking at again the track sheet of the Lord, of the men who had 100% faith in the Most High and who was delivered. That's who we are trying to be at the end. We are all looking for our salvation for our house, to fulfill the body of Yahawashi, but just overall, like I said, that's the importance of the faith that we need in Yahawashi.
If I
That's
could
Yeah,
just, you got
yeah,
it, Kyle.
yeah, Con. If like you said, when you look at them generations of old, he said that he didn't confound. None of them were confounded. I mean, you can go down the list. You know, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Noah. You know, Enoch, Elijah, Daniel. The list goes on and on. The Lord, they had that faith in them, and the Lord was there. You know what I'm saying? They trusted in him, and the Lord saved them.
I got that 6. I got that Hebrews 11. If you want some more out of it,
Yeah, yeah,
I was
Con,
holding
Con.
that too.
kind of. Sure, I'll just hit the main points.
Yeah,
Verse 4: By faith, Abel offered unto the Most High a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, the Most High testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. Verse 7, I'm going to just jump around a bit. By faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High of the things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared the ark to the saving of his house. And if I could say, what did Noah have? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to make it through the times that he was living in. He had faith that what the Most High told him, it was going to rain, so build an ark to save you and your loved ones and the animals from this great flood. He had faith to do it, just like we're coming in the stead of Noah. We're at the back of what the brother Bayan was saying. Hey, we're studying, and as it says in the scriptures, study to shoe the
so that
or
Should I self-approve?
study to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. We have faith in Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi, and when you have faith, what does that do? You have faith in the good things he brings, as well as the judgments he brings. And what does that bring? You have faith in the fear of the Most High, which brings you the wisdom to have faith to study and get more into the scriptures and believe more in the Most High, and just gather up as much knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And again, faith to make it, to have all your ducks in a row to make it through the judgments that Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is bringing, much like Noah. He had faith in what the Most High was saying and feared what the Most High was saying. So he had the wisdom to build that ark to save himself, his loved ones, and the animals on board.
And you got to think, he had to have quite a bit of faith to literally start building the ark, knowing that it never rained, water hadn't descended from the sky or anything like that before. The same way how we, we're teaching about nuclear missiles coming, chariots coming, things like that. Things that the world has, well, in today's time, have never seen. We got faith in it because that's what's written.
And Noah didn't know nothing about rain. Because it only in those days, I believe it was just dew upon the earth or the grass. So he didn't know rain, actual drops from the heaven, the windows of heaven was going to be open, but he still prepared himself. You got it. He showed his faith by his works, man, which again, the one without the other is dead. Okay, you believe, but you have to show what you believe in. The Lord gonna require our faith at the end, and Yahawashi is gonna finish it. That's why he's the ultimate finisher of our faith, man. Because he's gonna have to finish it. We could believe in him all we want, but we can't deliver ourselves. We can't save ourselves, man. So we need somebody to complete our faith. We gotta be finished, man. All right, we're a product that's in the transitioning stage of being finished, and Yahawashi gonna have to finish us. We can't finish ourselves. So that's faith. We got faith in Yahawashi. All right, not in our own selves. In other words, that we can only get ourselves so far, and then Yahawashi got to mediate. You got it.
What you about to say, Kabar?
I was gonna say too, and the backup call y'all too that we have faith that you though we do make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? That we have faith that blood of Yahawashi had cleansed us already.
Yeah.
And also, by faith, we changed our whole conduct for a man that we never seen before, or we can't even see. All right, but we changed our life by faith and fear. Just as Noah, you know what I'm saying? You got it.
Should we walk by faith and not by sight? Because if you walk by sight, what are you? Being that carnal man. And as it says in Corinthians, the carnal man cannot understand the higher spiritual things.
And Noah was saved by his faith and by his works. He was actually delivered in the ark that he built, which is happening right now. The ministry, we're going to be saved by our works, man, through faith.
Yeah, if just to back you up, that's perfect. Noah had the faith and he had the works, and what if Noah just heard that it was going to rain and it's like, you know what, I have faith that I'm a float to the top, I'll be all right. He didn't put any work to build that ark. Hey, he would have been through like everybody else.
That's why it's in the Apocrypha that small piece of wood actually went through that water like that. Get it? I think it's that's Wisdom of Solomon 6. That small piece of wood, but it referenced that vessel in that water really couldn't sustain itself. So ultimately, at the end of the day, faith had to, it was a great deal of faith, man. The Lord watered the entire earth. Who knows the amount of feet in which the Lord allowed it to rain 40 days and 40 nights, non-stop. But that small piece of wood and that vessel in that water, it speak about it. Briefly in that's Wisdom of Solomon. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, there's two accounts. I think you're talking about this one. This is Wisdom of Solomon 14:5. It says, "Nevertheless, thou wouldest not that the works of thy wisdom should be idle, and therefore do men commit their lives to a small piece of wood, and passing the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved."
Right. So how did they actually get saved? That they committed their lives to that vessel, or did that they committed their lives in faith that the Lord would get them through that water, man? Paul did it through getting shipwrecked, through all those things in the deep, 3 days and 3 nights and everything that he went through. He just had faith, man. Going to jail, etc. All right, but that they would commit, go to folk.
If I could say real quick, look at what happened when Yahawashi was walking on water in the storm and told Peter to walk to him. Peter had the faith at first, but then his faith started lacking. So then what happened? he started sinking.
Yep.
Yeah. And his faith started lacking because it said that that wind became boisterous. So
Yep.
his surround he started focusing on his surroundings because hey, it happens. You know, when things start hitting you in life, you start kind of looking at, man, this happening to me, all this stuff is coming at one time, and then you kind of start losing, losing that sight or losing that focus. But that's where you got to maintain that focus on the Lord.
That's right.
Faith. Faith.
You was reading that one in Wisdom of Solomon 6. Where you at?
14. I read 5.
The one in 10 and 4, it says, for whose caused the earth being drawn with the flood, wisdom again preserved it and directed the course of the righteous in a piece of wood of small value. So that piece of wood alone couldn't really direct the course of the righteous. It was the fate in which the righteous had, man, which Noah had. And Noah faith delivered him at the end of the day. All right. He drunk, built the ship. He's a regular man, and his faith just at the end, it just prevailed. You got it out.
God, you up, Ryan.
Kind of. Back in Hebrews 11, verse 7. By faith, Noah, being warned of the Most High of the things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. Verse 8. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should, after receipt for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs of the same promise. I'll jump down to 17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had received the promises offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said, that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that the Most High was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure.
At this point, your faith is pretty much is gonna be your education, man. It's gonna have to your faith gonna draw out you in the end game, man. It's gonna be what's pulled out you. All right. Now you can walk in wisdom alone, all right, and faith don't be added with it. Then you gonna be exposed, man. All right, you gonna be left naked. Okay, because again, that's what circles everything and bring everything full together and knit everything together is the faith, man. All right, you got it, brother.
God, and notice, like I said, when you read all these accounts, these are talking about these old men, our forefathers, and there's just a different accounts and things in which that occurred from them. But notice that each one of them says by faith, by faith, by faith. You know, that's why I said through faith. That's the Lord gonna sustain you. It's by your faith.
The situation gonna draw it out. Every situation we encounter gonna draw where our faith at, where our faith lies, and that's all the way up until what the ultimate test, man. We doing it now. We doing it day by day. We going through trials, men hitting all kind of afflictions, infirmities, sicknesses, shortcomings, poverty, you name it, man. Debt, men dealing with it. It's gonna have to show through your faith, though. You're gonna have to show thyself, man. Okay, and that's what our forefathers did, and that's why it's a testimony for an account for us today that we can have faith in every situation. That's why every account is in the scriptures, because the Lord, like, look, you don't know your situation, therefore I gave you one in the scriptures, so you wouldn't have excuse why you didn't have faith. You got it, brother.
I'll jump down to verse. Okay. I just jumped down to verse 24. By faith, Moses, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of the Most High than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season, and if I could say real quick, hey, we're coming in the exact same stead of Moses as well. Instead of suffering, instead of enjoying the pleasures of sin for a season and making a life in Babylon, making a life in modern spiritual Egypt, dealing with the momentary pleasures, and we're forsaking all that. We know that this place is going to be destroyed, and like Moses, we have faith in the Most High that He's going to, hey, exodus us out of this place and bring us to where? The Holy Land again. Hey, this is us getting beamed up onto the chariots for salvation and being brought back into our lands. Esteeming the reproach of Hamashiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible.
And we understand that those greater riches is going to be the kingdom of heaven, because there's nothing in this kingdom here that can be compared to the kingdom. So it's a win-win for anybody got anything else?
Brother.
Fine. So with that, we hope this Shabbat lesson was edifying, and we all. Oh,
just one more to close it off on in the Hebrews 11 verse 32. And what shall I say? Hey, I just looked at it. It kind of puts the period point on everything.
Nah, you good. I just thought I was laughing. I was thinking out loud, but go ahead.
Okay. And what shall I say? And what shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon and of Barak and of Samson and of Jephthah, of David also and Samuel and of the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, and stopped the mouth of lions. And what shall I more say? Question mark.
Done. Once again, it was all done through faith. And if you say this kingdom is going to be subdued, this kingdom is going to be taken down, all right? And then a righteous kingdom going to be established. But it all starts with that faith. All right. So with that, I hope this Shabbat lesson was edifying. But first and foremost, we're going to give all praise and honor to Yahawashi. Give honor to the apostles, elders, great Millstone. And we're going to say Shabbat Shalawam.
Shabbat Shalom.